What's going on, everybody? I hope your year is off to a fantastic start. As for me, I'm going to start with probably the most interesting topic to everybody, universally loved. Numbers. Alright, I'm going to talk about the December 2020 versus December 2019 market statistics. I'm going to go straight into it. The average home sale price was up 13.7% at an average of $283,000, just over that. And the average price, the sale price, was 98.5% of the asking price, which was up a little bit as well. Now, we normally expect some growth in terms of home sale price, usually about 6%. It was over double that. It's not quite as bad as other places in the United States, like California, probably Las Vegas, places like that have a lot of people coming in. But ultimately, that type of growth is not entirely sustainable. That's something I'm always going to be warning you about. But we will probably see that continue growing a little bit, but it's going to have to stop sometime. But will the market crash because of it? It's not necessarily the case. It's a possibility, but more likely it's going to happen a little gradual. But why were the prices so much higher? Now, typically, your intro-level economics, you're going to think supply, demand, those are usually tied together. As supply is down and demand's up, you're going to see that those prices start going up. Now, we were seeing 3,652 homes sold in December 2020, which is up 17.1%. And there's also 2,761 pending sales, so not yet completed, and which is up 31%. So you expect from those number of sales and the pending number of sales to share some of that correlation, which of course it does. Particularly when there's, like I said, relatively low inventory and higher supply. This might be a little foreshadowing. The price does go up. A lot of that demand is from new home buyers or people deciding, hey, I want to upsize or downsize for my house because of the mortgage rates. This year alone, in January, mortgage rates hit an average, nationwide average, low for the 15th time in this current run. So it's the lowest it's ever been, which makes it really enticing for buyers to get into the market because they say money's cheap. And homeowners currently, it's pretty enticing for them to refinance because no matter when they bought, it is impossible for them to have a better rate. Well, I shouldn't say impossible. It's very, very unlikely for them to have ever had a better rate. So when you take that into consideration, you do see that the home inventory for new and existing was 3,696, 51.3% lower than in 2019. Holy sh**. That is a huge, huge drop in inventory. And that's kind of been the story all year, really. Which has been prompting this crazy growth. There's a number of potential causes for this, which we kind of talked about some of that already. But I would expect this trend to continue so long as mortgage rates continue the way they are. When they start going up a little bit, you might see some of that down, that kind of tone down a little bit. But right now, I would expect this to continue for a little bit. With less houses available, high amounts of sales, not necessarily more sales, but higher prices, right? You can't have more sales than you have homes, so the prices are going to keep going up, I would imagine. Yeah, unless these become egregious, there's no stopping this, I think, for the time being. And then the number of days on the market, average days on market was, before the property was sold, was 32 days, down from 52 the year before. Again, that's not really a surprise, but it's still an extremely low amount of time. I believe the all-time low was in August, if memory serves, and it was about a month, so we're just over that. But I mean, given those other numbers, we expect that to be low. You know, I don't think it's really too realistic to see that number go down too much, unless everyone starts just buying cash, because with the lending side of things and everything else kind of just takes a little bit of time, but you can kind of skip over a lot of the underwriting and stuff like that from a mortgage standpoint if you're just buying with cash, which is why I don't think it's going to go down too much more. So this trend is something that we've been seeing all year, really. So 2020 on the year, December's the end of the year, thank God. 2020 was pretty crazy in terms of the market. I don't think that really is a surprise to many people, at least in hindsight. Home sales were up 6.3%. Pending sales were up 10.5%. Now some of those aren't going to go through, but it kind of is what it is. The home sale price is up 10.4%. So not quite as crazy as it was just specifically in December, which means you're kind of seeing a more not catastrophic, more expansive growth in the later half of the year. The home inventory is down 14%, which again, being seen a lot more lower days on the market in the second half of the year, like I said, starting in August, and that's kind of when a lot of the really crazy stuff with mortgages has happened. So barring any unforeseen circumstances, I would expect at least the first 6 months to kind of share the same trend, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was even longer than 6 months. So that's kind of my personal, really quick take. I'll put out a more in-depth take on what I think is going to happen this next coming year. But yeah, that is 2020. That's what we've learned from the entirety of 2020, specifically in December. So if you guys are interested in taking advantage of some of these low mortgage rates, if you guys are wanting to get into the market, despite it being a seller's market, it's still a really good time to buy because money is so cheap. So first-time home buyers, people who are looking to downsize or upsize, I think I hit on that a little bit. If you're wanting to buy a house, let me know. Or if you're wanting to sell a house and then obviously take on the buying role, or if you're just moving out of town, whatever, give me a call, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you any way I can. Until then, see you guys next time.